Hey familia, Igni here, and welcome back to another Shadowverse video. It's been a little bit, but I'm back to get hyped for the new expansion, World Uprooted, and I bring to you some pretty exciting news. I have a card reveal lined up on the 21st of March at around 9 p.m. GMT plus 8, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure the bell icon is hit so you know exactly as soon as it drops what card I have in store for y'all. But we're here to talk about the new expansion. It's been announced a few days ago. Let's see what the new cards are and what our thoughts are on them, shall we? So, the Seeds of Destruction have taken root, and a verdant world finds itself on a new precipice in Shadowverse's 16th card set, World Uprooted. This set will launch at the end of March with 97 initial cards and 2 new leader cards, with an additional 17 cards coming in May. Also, the Idolmaster collaboration is happening as well, so that's even more leaders too. A new mechanic, Fusion, will be introduced with this card set. Cards with Fusion let you fuse specific cards to it in order to gain new and powerful effects. In addition, 2 mechanics for Bloodcraft will be given new official keywords, Avarice and Wrath. Avarice is active if at least 2 cards have been added to your hand in a turn, and Wrath is active if your leader has taken damage during your turn at least 7 times in a match. World Uprooted features cards set in the besieged world of Natura. Side with the denizens of Natura by adding new Natura cards to your deck, or help Baphomet's invasion by arming yourself with new Machina cards. Either way, catch up with the story by reading Invasion of the World Reaver, and prepare for a battle of apocalyptic proportion. You know, I don't make a video for a week, and I instantly lose all capability to read. The Seeds of Destruction will uproot this world no longer. So it looks like the story mode of the game is going to be playing a much bigger role in this expansion than it usually does, which means, you know, story mode returning tomorrow, because I definitely have to start catching up some more in preparation for this one. But let's talk about the cards that have been revealed so far. Instantly, I already see the leader in the card art, which I love to see. That's always a cool thing. Iron Glider Elf, 4.53 Forest Craft Gold. Fanfare, put a random Machina card, excluding this one, from your deck into your hand and subtract 1 from its cost. Evolve. Do it again. So it's a Machina card itself, the Iron Glider Elf is. That's pretty neat. So is Machina Forest going to be a thing again? Maybe. It kind of had a little bit of viability back in the day with Steel Rebellion and Altar Sphere. No, wait, what am I thinking of? With Steel Rebellion, I'm thinking of Altar Sphere because I think Altar Sphere is the one that's rotating out next, right? But yeah, maybe this could be introduced in. What I'm really looking forward to is what new Machina synergies Force is going to get, especially with this new fusion mechanic. Maybe this sort of tutor effect will be really valuable in a deck that relies on a new Machina card to function, right? So you can just pull it more reliably. Right now it can pull the 3 play point Elf, which is good. It can get a 0 play point Bagworm, which is pretty cool too. That's a combo piece for sure. And getting it to 0 play points makes it so that you can weave it in more naturally for less play points as well. Plus tutoring it, of course. So, pretty neat. Stats-wise, it's aggressive. It's Tlaloc stats, or what more people would refer to as Fluoro stats, I imagine. And yeah, full evolve stats, and the fact that you can draw 2 cards here is not bad. Intertwined Resolve. 2 play point spell. Choose, use play points equal to this card's cost, and play this card as an Arissa's Leadership or a Latica's Embrace. If at least 2 other cards are played this turn, instead do the effects of both the choices. And Arissa's Leadership is summon 2 fairies. Latica's Embrace is deal 3 damage to a random enemy follower. So, by itself, it's a Oathless Knight with Fairy Synergy, or an Awakened Ragna kind of deal, which is honestly not bad. Definitely not bad. And the fact that you can get both effects off for 2 play points, if you just play only 2 other cards, not something like 4 like May requires, but only 2, I think this card could definitely see some play. Being able to both be on the board and remove something potentially, or help you out with the board for so little cost is pretty cool. Moving on, we have Daria Infinity Witch. Oh boy. You know, the original Daria, I think, might be the most complained about card in the history of Shadowverse. The amount of salt that the old Daria generated is immense. So to see her coming back, let's see what her effect actually is, and see if this card lives up to that same reputation. 8 play points, 4/4, legendary. Fanfare, draw cards until your hand is full, or you draw a card without spell boost. Spell boost those cards 3 times, and then, of course, cost reduction with spell boost as well. So you can draw another Daria with this Daria. I think this is a little bit more unreliable, though. Like, who's to say you're not just going to immediately draw Insight or Clark or something equally valuable to spell boost decks that you could definitely not see yourself not running. Wait. That you definitely couldn't see yourself not running is the sentence I meant to say there. That makes more sense. But you draw it instantly with the Daria and you feel kind of like a fool. Bright side, it can still be a 0 play point 4/4, and super bright side, it can end up drawing tons of stuff. Zealot, no, because Alter Sphere is rotating out, but it could draw other spell boost tools, which are good, like Kuon, for example. I don't know if that deck in particular requires Daria, but we'll see what other tempo tools this kind of deck gets. If Runecraft gets some 3 play point stuff that can spell boost down to 0, that's impactful, then Daria, I think, is going to see more play. But I think overall this is far less reliable than the previous version of the card, I say. Because again, you can just draw Insight and then it feels real bad. Okay, Havencraft has a legendary here. Justine, Holy All Mirage, 5 play point 3/5. Fusion, Natura. So as far as I understand it, Fusion means that once per turn, per card, you can fuse however many cards of this type, in this case Natura, to this card to proc some fusion effects. So in this case, whenever cards are fused to this card, restore 1 defense to your leader. Storm, Fanfare, if this card is fused with at least 1 card, gain Bane. If it's fused with at least 2 cards, gain Ward. Then if it's fused with at least 3 cards, gain Drain. So that's interesting. So you can get an on-curve 5/7 Storm, Bane, Ward, Drain. That's kind of crazy. I think Haven needs more draw, though. I think Haven needs more draw going into this expansion for this. But if you're playing Natura, you're playing trees? Right? So, regarding draw, you have that at least. But if you're spending your Natura cards as fusion materia, then I don't know if your draw is going to work out. It's an interesting dilemma we're faced with here as we look at a new archetype. So I think this card has the potential to be extremely good. I mean, it has Albert stats with a huge potential upside here, especially the Drain, but, you know, sacrificing 3 of your cards puts you really behind in terms of card advantage versus your opponent. And then, of course, like I said, the draw problem here if you're spending your trees and such as fusion materia instead of actually playing it out, right? So, I don't know. I think the card is great stats, though, and might just be good enough to run as another Storm follower in the Natura deck, which has kind of fallen off a little bit with the advent of Ultimate Coliseum. Okay, moving on to the Portalcraft cards here. Baphomet World Reaver, 8 play point 6/6. Fusion Machina, Rush. Fanfare, randomly activate one of the following effects X times. X equals the number of cards fused to this card. Summon an Armored Tentacle. Summon an Assault Tentacle. Gain +3/+3. And draw 3 cards. Draw up to 3 times. Alright, let's take a look here. Armor Tentacle. Ward can't be targeted by enemy spells and effects. Restore 4 defense to your leader. Assault Tentacle. Storm! Storm! If this follower can be targeted by enemy spells or effects, your opponent can only target this follower. Last words, deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. Okay. Wow. I think this card is really good. It kind of counteracts the whole using your cards as materia problem with this effect, right? And the fact that it fills your entire board, and I think Portal has enough control tools to make it to 8 pretty easy. And then, of course, this then leads into your late game, right? Your Kaiser, of course, to finish the game off. I think this card is really good. Yeah, and I think it might push Portalcraft up a little bit. I definitely hope so, in any case. But yeah, wow. These are both great cards. These are both great. And then, of course, again, leads straight into Kaiser on turn 10, you know. The only concern is how fast are the decks going to be going into this expansion. Can Portal hold out till turn 8? But I do think that they have the tools to do so, at least on first glance. So definitely I'm keeping an eye out for this one. Alright, Ironclad Armadillo 3/2/3. Machina and Natura at the same time. Ooh. Dual trait cards. That's a first. Ward, last words, put an assembly droid and repair mode into your hand. Ward, last words, put an assembly droid and repair mode into your hand. Alright, I'm already seeing what this card is going to be used for. It's going to be used as material for Baphomet, right? It puts 2 Machina cards into your hand, and it's a Machina card itself, and then Baphomet could always use more fuel where you're not burning your card advantage away, because this is generating tokens for you to use with the Baphomet. I think this deck might be coming together already, and not many cards have been revealed so far, so yeah, gonna be looking out for this one, that is for sure. Okay, neutral cards now. We have Changewing Cherub, also a Machina Natura dual trait card. Fanfare, if you have at least 3 other Machina cards in your hand, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower. If you have at least 3 other Natura cards, restore 2 defense to your leader. Evolve, put an assembly droid or Naturan Great Tree in your hand. It's not bad for sure. I mean, it's flexible, right? It's both Machina and Natura. Can fit in a Machina deck or a Natura deck. Or even interestingly, you can have it in a dual Machina Natura deck. I don't know if that's going to work out so well, but now it's possible. Now there's a tool to help you facilitate that. And if you do run that, well, I mean, it's a little high roll to get both these effects off at once, right? So I'm imagining in the majority of cases it's going to be one or the other. I hope I don't eat my words on that. But it's alright stats. If you run this in, say, a Baphomet deck, you have a 2-drop that instantly can deal with the board on 2, going second. So your opponent plays a 2/2, you can just play this immediately right after if your hand has 3 Machina cards in your hand. That's amazing. With Natura, this effect I'm a lot less impressed than with the Machina application, so I think you might see this more in the Machina decks. But that's just my first impressions prediction here. Alright. Boom, Devil! 7/5/5. Neutral gold, no traits. Fanfare, deal 5 damage to the enemy leader. If this is your 10th turn or later, deal 5 damage to all enemies instead. Alright, I'm predicting this to mostly be used for this part of the effect right here. And I'm predicting it to be like a 1/2 of maybe as a potential splash in an aggro deck. Other than that, I'm not super convinced by the potential of this card, because it doesn't really affect much on board. Weak stats for the cost, the turn you play it, and yeah, probably just going to be used as a potential top end for aggro decks, I say. Okay, next up, Goblin War Pack. 3 play point neutral silver. Summon 2 goblins. Okay, that's pretty good. Enhance 6, summon 5 instead. That's okay. Enhance 9, then evolve all unevolved allied goblins. Oh boy. You know, I think this card is actually pretty good. Not amazing? Well, maybe it's amazing. No, I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's definitely pretty good. Definitely in Arena, it's incredible. It's actually incredible in Arena. In Constructed, summon 2 goblins. Not too bad for more board floody decks. Maybe in an aggro style deck. I think it would work with Byron, right? You can Byron on 2 if you're playing Dragon and then play this. That's kind of gross. Right? Right? You get a 2/2, and then instantly after, you get 2 more 2/2s for 3 play points only. Good deal. Definitely a good deal. And I like it. I like it. I don't think it's going to be omnipresent or anything, but I think it's definitely a playable card, especially in Arena, like I said, and in Constructed. It has its applications. So, there you go. Those are the cards that have been revealed thus far. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Was I right? Was I wrong? Let me know. And again, important announcement, the big takeaway from this video. 21st March, 9 p.m. GMT +8. Subscribe, hit the bell, whatever you need to do to make sure you catch my card reveal. And yeah, exciting times. Like the video if you did. Don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content in the very near future. Again, story mode is returning tomorrow. Thank you so much to my wonderful patrons. Really appreciate ya. Oh, this is all messed up. All right. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.